Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to a very special reading for the Divine Feminine. Now, the focus as of late has been on the Divine Masculine, not the embodied Divine Masculine, but the masculine energy within us, because that masculine energy has been healing, transforming, and really rising. And so, as that's happening, the feminine energy is coming more into balance and reaching that inner union. And so I wanted to dive a little bit deeper into the feminine energy. We just did a sacred union energy update yesterday that was very powerful for this eclipse energy that we're in right now. But it really feels like the sacred feminine energy is here and is rising. And so I wanted to dive a little bit deeper. Now, I did a little bit of a meditation before this just to tune into the energies, and Mary Magdalene came through. And along with Mary Magdalene came Mother Mary. So we have a lot of supportive feminine energies here with us today. So let's just dive into it and see what the message is for the Divine Feminine. I'm going to use the Divine Feminine Oracle deck first. Okay. What's coming through is the energy of the cosmic egg, and they're pointing me to this as reference to that. Just want to make sure it wasn't, that we didn't have that on the bottom. I don't even know if that's in this deck. But they're showing me the cosmic egg, and they're saying that we have really been through, the Divine Feminine has really been through this rebirth process. Now, she has been going through that process over the last several weeks, months, even years, in layers, because it is a process. It is a process of rediscovery. It is a process of going very deep within the self. As we say all the time on the channel, to know thyself. The more you know yourself, the more that you know thyself as the I am presence, recognizing your multidimensional nature, you're able to shift into higher consciousness because you're able to get that bird's eye view. You're able to shift into higher perspectives. You're able to see things from the soul self versus from the human egoic self, which can be very narrow-minded, which is very focused on the physical experience, which is full of illusions. But pulling back and looking at things from the soul's perspective allows you to get in tune with your multidimensional nature and see things from the soul perspective, where there is that middle path. And that's the path that you're meant to walk. You're meant to walk your own path, not looking so much to either side of any debate, of any divisionary tactics, but just walking your path, focused on your soul path, your soul's evolution and growth, where your soul is guiding you. The feminine energy very much in tune with her intuition, very much in tune with flow. When she comes into that inner union with the masculine energy inside of her, she's able to take action from her intuition. It's guided action is what I'm hearing, guided action. So she's able to take guided action following her intuition along her path. And that is what helps her reach that alignment, and that is what helps her to bring in that abundance, that energy of love. She is naturally the energy of love, expressive in the energy of love, openly giving, but it's not in a distorted way anymore. The sacred feminine, the divine feminine, is one who has healthy boundaries, one who is able to take responsibility for herself, accountability for herself, but doesn't take on that responsibility for others, knowing that everybody has their experiences, everybody has their own path. She releases control in the way that she trusts and believes that everybody has their own path, and thus is able to take accountability and responsibility, must take accountability and responsibility for themselves. She cannot control anyone but herself, and that's for everybody. That's the feminine energy within all of us. Able to communicate, able to receive love, receive as much as giving, receive that abundance, be open to the flow of abundance, not just coming from her and what she gives, but able to receive that as well. She doesn't block that. This feminine energy, oh, Callie's coming in. Okay, this feminine energy is like a fierce warrior. She is able to dance into the energy of life, dance with the flow of life, the energy of life. And she can be destructive, and that she tears down anything that does not resonate with her wild, fierce, and free spirit. That's the warrior inside of her. But very compassionate as well, very loving, very nurturing as well, very creative as well. It's a beautiful energy, and they're giving me this energy of, it might feel like a paradox. How can you be loving and fierce at the same time? But that is the feminine energy. How can you be a warrior and compassionate at the same time? How can you be destructive and creative at the same time? But that is the Kali Ma energy. That is the divine feminine energy. It is the conscious feminine who is able to use her own discernment, trust her intuition for what is needed at any given time. She holds that strength and courage and fierceness within her, but in a very loving, nurturing, compassionate way. It's beautiful, beautiful energy. Okay. The cosmic egg, that reminded me again. So that cosmic egg, she has been birthing this new version of herself. And that cosmic egg is breaking open for the greater collective, for the planet as a whole, the global collective, because it's time. It's time to birth the feminine energy. This planet had been so contained in a false paradigm of toxic masculine energy. Now, when I say a false paradigm, I say it because it has been distorted masculine, not the conscious masculine, which is rising to the planet, but the distorted masculine. And if you hear, excuse me, my goodness, this is throat chakra activations. And what I love about that, what it's showing us is that the feminine energy had been so repressed and suppressed. I'm getting spirit chills here. So repressed and suppressed on this planet. But what's happening through this ascension process, and everybody's going through this ascension process, there are some who are conscious of it and some who are less conscious of it, but they can feel the transformation, they can feel the shift. They are moved to activism, they are moved to more kindness, more compassion. They are not wanting that division. They are moved to service work or mission work. They might not be so conscious of the ascension process, but they're going through it just the same. And those of us who are conscious of it, we are really the guides, the way showers, the light workers who are helping the collective by consciously transmuting toxic, old, outdated templates or old energy, negative vibrations. We are consciously transmuting that energy, but everybody's going through this ascension, this global ascension, this awakening. And so what has been going on is there had been this old paradigm. 2,000 years is what they're showing me, 2,000 years and more. Really suppressing the feminine energy. That was for control. That was for manipulation. That was for, it was basically for control. And to control the narrative, to control creatorship, to really hold you back from recognizing the divinity within you, to really hold you back from recognizing your co-creative abilities with the universe. And you have co-creative abilities because you are the universe, because that is your power, that is your magic, holding you back from that. But the time is now. It's the power of now. The more we recognize our divinity, the more we recognize our magic and our love within ourselves, the more we explore that with the relationships around us and the relationship especially within us, the more we connect to source energy, God, the universe, whatever it is that you want to call that pure divine energy, that pure divine love, that creator energy. The more we explore that, the more we connect with it, the more we connect with ourselves, the more we connect with others around us, the more we open up to unity consciousness, and the more the old paradigm fades away. And so with that toxic energy, that toxic masculine energy that had been on this planet, it had been suppressing the feminine energy. Now, this is not the conscious masculine. This is not the divine masculine energy. The divine masculine energy is at home with the divine feminine. He is in balance with the divine feminine. He is honoring and cherishing the divine feminine energy because he's recognizing that feminine energy within him. For those of you who are in sacred partnership, who are in twin flame, twin soul relationships, sacred partner relationships, this is what you have been experiencing on your journey with another person, with another partner. But the same can be said for reaching that union within yourself. And you have to reach that union within yourself before you reach that with a sacred partner embodied. So for those who are in sacred partnership, this is what you have been learning with your sacred partner in your relationship, in your partnership. You have been learning how to balance out the masculine and feminine energies within you. Your partner has just been the beautiful divine mirror for you to see where you need to go deep within to clear out old templates, to clear out old programming, to connect more deeply to yourself, to connect more deeply to source energy within yourself, and even to connect more deeply to the masculine or feminine energy within yourself, whichever needed that that healing, that clearing. So actually it was both. So for the divine feminine, a lot of divine feminines have been in over-masculated energy. And it was that toxic energy. It was, trying to take action from a place of control, trying to do too much at one time, not listening to her guidance, not listening to her intuition. So she had been in a toxic masculine, distorted masculine energy as well. She has been learning how to heal that. And so as she's healed that within herself, allowing her divine feminine energy to flow with the masculine energy inside of her, not just taking action from that, it's like that type A personality, just go, 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 push, push, push. She's been learning how to step into the flow, to the home of herself, the flow of herself, the energy just flowing, the love just flowing, listening to her intuition, and that's where the guided action is. She had also been in an energy of overgiving, not being able to receive, blocking that flow of abundance, blocking that flow of receiving. And so she has really come to this beautiful precipice here where she has reached that inner balance. For the divine masculine embodied, he had been very suppressed in his distorted feminine energy, where he was not allowing himself to feel his emotions, where he was not following his intuition, where he was not listening to himself, where he was not connecting fully to himself because he was not connecting fully to his intuition. And so what happened for him was he was in just what we talked about for the divine feminine, he was in that energy of focusing too much on material, focusing too much on action, focusing too much on wealth, but coming from that very physical 3D structure versus allowing his own intuition to guide him. If you see the mirroring, if you see the parallels here, it's because that's what needed to be cleared. That's what needed to be healed. It's what needed to be balanced between both counterparts or within yourself. Again, within yourself first, but if we're talking about sacred partners, that's what needed to be balanced. And so the feminine masculine energies really healing their distortions to recognize the divine. And as they recognize the divine, you're recognizing the feminine and masculine principles within yourself, and then you recognize that within your partner if you're in that sacred partnership. But what's been happening is the feminine energy is rising. And so being able to express yourself, being able to take that guided action, follow your intuition, trust your intuition without doubt, no matter what it is that you're seeing in the physical, no matter how strong the illusions of the physical, because the physical is the illusions. You hold everything within yourself first. That is where you create. It's by the vibration that you hold. That's where you come into alignment with your physical world. The vibration that you hold is what you then see reflected in the hologram of your physical environment. Your physical environment is simply a hologram of everything you hold within. That's said another way. The physical environment, a hologram of everything you hold within, the vibration that you hold within. So if you're in a vibration of fear, if you're in a vibration of toxicity, if you're in a vibration of negative energy or old beliefs that you were holding on to, stagnant energy, if you're in an energy of distortion, then you are seeing that in your physical reality. You're seeing that play out in the physical hologram, in your environment, your world. But as that heals within you, as your vibration raises, as you shift in consciousness, you shift dimensions. And a dimension is just a shift in consciousness. And what you begin to see is more abundance. You start to experience connection to yourself, to source, to spirit more. You start to experience everything of that higher vibration in your physical world. And that's going to resonate for everybody a little bit differently. If you're worried about finances, you're going to continue to focus on that. That's what you're going to experience in your physical world. But the more you tap into the connection with source and the universe and recognize, I am always abundant because that is my divine nature. I am always supported. I am always provided for. The energy of gratitude, the energy of love, that is what displays itself in your physical world. And so with the feminine energy rising, it's following the intuition, following that connection to the universe, to source. And what happens, we channeled this a very long time on this channel, at the start of this channel, what happens is the masculine energy rises, the feminine energy takes that template of connection down, and you meet on the bridge of the heart. Meet me on the bridge of the heart. We channeled that 3 years ago. Meet me on the bridge of the heart. So you meet where the heart chakra is, and that is where you create. You create from the heart chakra. And so with these unions, with the divine masculine, divine feminine, whether it's inner union or whether it's union with your divine counterpart, and again, inner union first, and then you experience more harmony, you experience that union with your divine counterpart, you experience that soul merging with your divine counterpart. What happens is that is where you create, it just, expands from the heart chakra. To change your entire world. And so divine feminine energy that had been suppressed is rising on the planet because the planet is coming into balance. The planet as a whole is coming into that union where that toxicity is being peeled away. Those layers of control, those layers of power, that corrupt power, the layers of manipulation are being peeled away because the divine masculine is rising to come into alignment and honor the divine feminine principle, the divine feminine energy, which had been so suppressed, but had been, what's the word that they're giving me? It's not just repressed, not just suppressed, not just persecuted, but just buried away. The power of the divine feminine energy had been buried away. The magic of the divine feminine energy that's rising back to the surface. I don't know how else to say it, the power and the magic of divine feminine principles coming back to the surface. And why had it been suppressed? Why had the divine feminine been prosecuted and persecuted? Because of that element of control, because of that element of corrupt power, because for so long, there were so many, especially with regards to religion, they had not wanted you to see how everybody has that divine feminine energy within them, and thus that co-creative ability, that magic within them, the universe within them. Everybody has a divine element within them. Everybody is God. I'm feeling Jesus coming in here. Yeshua saying, that's what I was here to teach you. In co-creatorship with Mary Magdalene as his sacred partner, to show you the divine feminine, divine masculine principle, what it is to be consciously human, what it is to be divine embodied, that the kingdom of heaven lies within. And where is the kingdom of heaven? It's in the energy of the feminine and masculine principles, the union of the feminine and masculine energies. Recognizing that heaven is not some outside resource that you claim. It's not some outside energy field that happens after death. Heaven happens within us, and that's what we're doing, bringing heaven down to earth by being the physical human incarnation, the physical human embodiment of divine source energy. Divine source energy flows through the divine feminine and the divine masculine. God energy, let's put it this way, God flows through the divine feminine and the divine masculine principles when they are in balance, when they are in union, when they are honoring the sacred soul self. That's what's happening on this planet as we speak. It is the ascension. An ascension is an awakening to your true self, to the divinity within, to the kingdom within, that you have everything you need within yourself, and you don't need to look to outside resources to claim that. especially outside leaders, especially outside groups, especially outside resources or religions. It all is contained within you. That wisdom is within you. That creator ability is within you. Because you are source energy. God is the ultimate creator. But you have that creator ability within you. And play with that a little bit. This world is meant to be a playground. It's not meant to be a place of suffering and strife. We went through that paradigm because we needed to learn. We needed to go through this ascension process, everything leading us here. But this is meant to be our playground, to, like children who create, who use their imaginations to create. We are meant to recognize our own magic. And as we recognize our own magic, we begin to recognize and see the magic in everybody, how everybody is playing a part. And what was channeled to me was that we are all unique threads in the beautiful tapestry of creation. Everybody has their own unique soul imprint. Everybody has their own unique soul purpose. But through that, we create this unifying field of creation, of the universe. We're all connected through source energy. We're all connected through love. And the more we recognize that, the more we create and bring about unity consciousness. And the feminine principle had to rise in order for us to see that. There has to be an honoring and a cherishing of the feminine principle on this planet once again in order for it all to come into balance. And that is exactly what is happening on this planet through ascension. It's healing the distorted masculine energy. It is helping the feminine energy to rise, to come into balance with both principles. And it's the yin and the yang energy. Once that happens, it locks into place. The two pieces lock into place, and there's forward momentum. There is unity. There is love. Let's see if we get any messages. Oh my gosh, I just channeled for 20 minutes. Okay, let's see if we get any cards here. Spirit, what do you want to say about the feminine energy, please? What do you want to say about the divine feminine? The Black Madonna, Our Lady of the Hermits. I transform pain and suffering into a greater capacity to love. I love that so much. And I'm also going to take the Goddess of Never Not Broken. Everything happens for my liberation. I choose to become only more love. I feel like this is where the divine feminine has been recently. When we're talking about the collective, when we're talking about the ascension journey and sacred partnerships, remember, take it as it resonates for you. This could be the feminine energy within you, or if you are a divine feminine embodiment. You have been going through this cycle of rebirth, and I'm just pointed to here. This feels like that solar eclipse energy that we're in right now today as I'm channeling. This feels like a great rebirth. This feels like a recognition of the feminine energy rising. This feels like you are recognizing your empowerment. You are honoring yourself through self-expression, allowing yourself to not feel persecuted, not fear the persecution, not fear the prosecution if you express yourself. This is you just being in your divine right of honesty, truth, vulnerability, authenticity, allowing yourself to be fully you, to just express yourself as your soul self, to not fear the reactions of others. This is putting the people-pleasing to rest. This is putting the persecution energy to rest. This is putting the expectations of others to rest. This is you being fully, authentically you in your soul self. And as you do this, you just shine. You just light up. And that light has a ripple effect on others. They're showing me a lighthouse. You are the lighthouse guiding others home. The feminine principle is the lighthouse guiding others to home. Not just the masculine energy, but it's this energy of wayward souls, those who are just awakening, those who are going through the ascension process. The feminine principle in her divine essence, when she recognizes and anchors in and grounds that divine feminine essence fully, that inner union, she is this beaming beacon of light for others, transmuting any pain, transmuting any suffering, helping to transmute for the collective to more love, because she is the embodiment of love. Now, again, I want to talk to the divine masculines. If you're a divine masculine embodiment, this is the feminine energy within you that you are rising within yourself, that you are recognizing within yourself. And the more you recognize that within your divine feminine embodiment, the more you recognize that within yourself, and vice versa. So this is the feminine principle within you. You being that beacon of light, you being that beacon of love. That's the feminine principle here. Choosing to be love, choosing that energy of compassion, choosing to transmute. And transmutation, alchemy, is a choice. You're choosing to be the alchemist of love. Okay, I'm going to put those here. Just want to write down the title of that because they just gave it to me. That is beautiful. All right, what else do we need to know for the divine feminine? Please, Spirit, what do we need to know for the divine feminine? What do we need to know for the divine feminine? Revelation and miracles. This feels like that transformation energy. Yeah, I was just going to say revelation feels like resurrection, feels like that rebirth, that transformation energy. That's where it is. Because you are being the real you. Because you are embodying the real you. And I'm hearing that this is a choice. That transmutation is a choice. Choosing, and this is war and peace within the self, but it affects the collective. I'm going to take this. Okay, I'm just going to keep going. We're going to get to these in a minute. I have a lot of cards, a lot of messages here, so bear with me. This War and Peace card is an energy of the suffering that we had experienced. We have the ability, we have the choice to transmute that into more joy, into more love. If you guys listen to my IGTV on Instagram about being the magic, I had a beautiful conversation with my divine masculine where he actually activated me and showed me where I was still holding on to old pains of the past, old templates of trauma and suffering within myself. Wanting to consciously choose joy, but still holding on to old energies in my subconscious field. And he actually activated that to become more aware of that so that that could be a conscious choice, to be in the energy of joy. Again, joy is my natural state. I am annoyingly optimistic and positive. Annoyingly so if you know me. Almost like naturally joyful. As most of us are. That is our soul self. But we have suppressed that because of pain. Or trauma, or old patterns, or old beliefs. But that is a choice. It is a choice to wake up and say, I am a joyful being. To affirm, I am love. I am light. I am soul. I am. And to use that throughout the day, use that affirmation throughout the day to affirm who you are. Remind yourself of who you are. It is a choice in any given moment. You have the power to bring yourself back to that joy, to that love, to that peace, to that harmony within. It is a constant choice. You have at any given moment the ability to shift your energy. And so the more you do that within yourself, the more that is having a ripple effect on the collective, because what you're doing with that choice is you are transmuting, you are alchemizing, shifting pain into love. Everything shifting into love. But you do that first by changing your vibration. You do that first by acknowledging. So we have this duality of war and peace on this planet, but we can shift that by making that conscious choice within for the eternal internal war and peace that we're experiencing that shifts to the external. Nope, they want me to go here. You do that by being authentically you. You do that by taking down any mask that you are wearing and embodying your higher self in every given moment. And there will be times where ego kind of takes hold, where fear or pain or old hurts come back. But what you do is you transmute that. You make that conscious and you transmute that. You allow yourself to feel whatever it is you need to feel in order to process, but you don't attach a story to it. You don't allow yourself to spiral. You recognize the emotions. You say, oh, okay, this is what I'm feeling. I'm going to let myself cry. I'm going to let myself feel. I'm going to let myself be angry. Whatever it is that I'm feeling, I'm going to allow myself embrace those feelings, but I'm not going to attach to it because I know the real me. I know that I am more of that than that. I know that I'm more than those emotions. I know that I am soul. I know who I am now. It's know thyself. Again, the more you know yourself, the more you're aware of yourself, the more you connect to yourself, the more you're easily able to connect to the divine source light within you. This Saint Sinner also came out. This is the energy of allowing yourself. It's this duality energy. This is the energy of allowing yourself to connect more fully to yourself. At any given time, you're both the saint and the sinner. We cannot put ourselves on such a high pedestal to say that I am perfect. No, because they're saying, wait a minute. You are divine and you are perfect in your divinity, but you are also human. And what this is this is bridging being human with being that spiritual soul self, that divine soul self. The more you embody the divine self, the more it's going to be easier within your human incarnation. But being human can be very, very difficult, especially because we've been locked in this old paradigm for centuries. But what they're saying here is allow yourself to be human. Don't fault yourself for being human. Don't fault yourself for having flaws. Don't fault yourself for making mistakes, because mistakes are not mistakes. Mistakes are experiences. Mistakes are learning opportunities. Mistakes are opportunities for growth and evolution. Mistake is not a mistake. It is just an opportunity for more soul growth. So allow yourself to be human. Allow yourself to have emotions. Allow yourself to have faults and flaws, because those are just paths forward for continued evolution, for continued expansion. You are divine by right, by who you are as the soul self. You're also human. Allow yourself to be human. That is the bridge. It is embodiment of both. Embodiment of the soul self, recognition of the soul self within the human incarnation. You are the bridge. And we have this dualistic energy so that you could see both sides in order to bridge that, in order to be the embodiment. I talk a lot about that on the channel, so do allow yourself to go back through the playlists and see what might resonate for you for those teachings. The Sophia is the divine feminine energy, the beloved. I'm getting called to intimacy and the messenger. The Sophia being the divine feminine energy. It is that Christos Sophia energy, which is the Christ consciousness. It is the feminine and masculine principle. This is the feminine principle of that Christos Sophia consciousness. It is Mother God source energy, recognizing the beloved within yourself. And the more you recognize the beloved within yourself, the more you're able to open up, be naked, be vulnerable, be intimate, emotionally, otherwise, if you're in the sacred partnership with others. This is bringing forth the unity energy. You are the lighthouse. You are the gateway. You are the guide. You are the messenger within this energy. The beloved within you expands to express the beloved without. Okay. A lot of messages today. Wow. So here, what's going on with the divine feminine? You know what, I'm going to just clear this. What is going on with the divine feminine? The divine feminine is rising. This revelation feels like resurrection. This revelation is self-empowerment. This revelation is recognizing the divine within the self. And recognizing with miracles, a miracle is not so much a miracle. Miracles happen in every given moment. A miracle is just a shift in perception, just a shift in energy. But we call them miracles because we don't expect them. We call them miracles because we don't acknowledge them. We're not so much aware of them. We call them miracles because we're not recognizing the divinity within ourselves, the magic within ourselves to create. The more we recognize our creative abilities, that's that sacral chakra that we always talk about, the more we recognize our ability to birth worlds, birth new timelines, birth higher timelines for ourselves by being in that higher consciousness, by recognizing our divinity and embodying our divinity. That's how we shift in consciousness into higher consciousness. That's how we jump timelines into higher timelines, because we're coming into alignment with our self, with our soul self, with our divine self, recognizing our magic. The more we recognize that magic, the more we recognize our creative abilities, co-creative abilities with the universe, the more we recognize that partnership with the universe, our connection to the universe, the more we're able to create what looks like miracles, but it's really just us creating with the universe, that co-creatorship. And so that is what's transforming. The divine feminine is rising. This just feels like the rising of that mother energy of the planet. Mother Gaia is shifting, is transforming the planet as a whole. Mother Earth is transforming and shifting as a whole. And we're seeing that. It's that Kali Ma energy that's coming in. We've been seeing a lot of destruction, natural disasters, but from that comes resurrection. From that comes rebirth. That is exactly what we're experiencing internally, and that's exactly what we're experiencing externally. But it's because we're going through the process of internal ascension that we're seeing that play out within our world globally. It's because all of us collectively are going through an internal ascension that we're seeing that play out and shift in destruction externally. But it's not so much destruction as we are creating and birthing a new world. New and higher timelines, new world, new earth. Okay, wow. Let's see, what does the divine feminine need to surrender at this time? What is the divine feminine surrendering at this time? What is the divine feminine surrendering at this time? What's the divine feminine surrendering at this time? Yeah, okay. What's the divine feminine surrendering? Divine feminine is surrendering the fear of change, and they're highlighting fear for me. Fear of persecution, fear of prosecution, fear of being repressed and suppressed again, as she has been for centuries on this planet. She is surrendering the fear, needing to hide herself away, feeling that she needs to hide herself away for fear of that persecution and prosecution. She is allowing herself to rise. She is allowing herself to embrace change within herself, that transformation within herself, and externally in her life, in her physical environment. When we're talking about the greater feminine energy, she is allowing herself to change the planet. She's allowing herself to rise, to transform the planet as a whole. She's surrendering any fear of the past here. And I'm getting called to look at all this orange energy. This is all that sacral chakra energy. This is all that solar plexus energy, empowerment, and recognizing creative abilities within that self-empowerment. Okay, let's get a divine feminine. I have two more decks they want me to use. This one and that one. Okay, so we use that for guidance. What other messages do you have for the divine feminine, please, Spirit? What other messages do you have for the divine feminine? What other messages do you have for the divine feminine? God of spiritual healing and angel of soul love. Time to look at how you value yourself. Issues of self-love, an aspect of you or a situation in your life is in need of healing. And goddess of justice, angel of manifestation as well. This is a balancing out. This angel of manifestation is that creative energy that we were calling in, or that we were channeling. So I'm just going to lay that here. But look at all this blue now. Look at all this self-expression. Because the feminine energy is rising, not being afraid to express herself, not being afraid to embody her feminine essence, not being afraid to be authentically her. We've channeled a lot about the divine feminine here on my channel. I want to point you guys to the Ascension Energies playlist. We talk a lot about the feminine energies there as well, and the power of the feminine energy. How she, over the past century especially, that feminine energy has been rising, and we're seeing that in our physical world with voters' rights, with breaking through those glass ceilings, with where female especially are becoming equal to that of men. Now, we're non-gender specific here, talking about feminine, masculine energies. There are males who embody the divine feminine. There are females who embody the divine masculine. But I want to point to the females because that is a physical representation. What we're seeing collectively, it's a physical representation of how the feminine energy is rising. So we're seeing that come into balance in our physical representation of the world, of how women are having more of a voice, especially. That's that feminine energy that is rising. And again, it's not gender specific, but that's the physical representation of what we're talking about here. So balance is coming into play. There's also a message of that sacred partnership where balance and justice is being done. When I talking about balance before, that's justice. That's that justice energy. Balance is coming to play here with the masculine and feminine principles embracing each other. This is what we're talking about in the beginning, honoring the sacred feminine. The sacred feminine honoring the sacred conscious masculine, embracing each other to come into balance. And what happens when you come into balance, the two of you here heal the world. The two of you here, when the masculine embraces the feminine, when the feminine embraces the masculine, that energy is so powerful that it creates a cosmic effect that heals the world. I'm going to put a link to that reading in the description box below. We channeled that about 3 years ago. The love. We channeled that with Sacred Partners. The love between you guys, when you come into balance, when you come into that union, is so powerful. It just has a ripple effect, not just on shifting the paradigm of this planet, but you birth new universes, you birth new galaxies. It has a ripple effect on the whole of the cosmos. That's how powerful love is. That is how powerful love is. And if you're ever in doubt, look at how you have loved another, how you've loved a pet, how you've loved a passion or a hobby, how you've loved yourself, especially how you've loved God. Whatever it is that you've loved, take a fraction of that. How you've experienced that. You've experienced love in your life. You have. It's a fraction of what recognizing the love within yourself and divine love really is. Source love really is. It's just a fraction of what source love really is. And source love is divine love. So the more you connect more fully to yourself, the more you connect more fully to source, the more you're able to connect to that divine love and how powerful and beautiful and sacred and pure, unconditional that really is. The more you open up your heart to it, the more you receive it. That's the feminine principle as well. And the more you receive it, the more it just has this beautiful, the infinity sign is what they had showed me. It's that give and receive, that open flow of love. The more you receive it, the more you're able to give it. The more you give it, the more you receive it. And the more powerful love in its divinity becomes. Okay. Guidance for the divine feminine, please, Spirit. Guidance for the divine feminine. Express yourself through creative activities. This is that sacral chakra we were just talking about. In the bottom of the deck, we have Mother Mary here. This is express yourself. Express yourself in your full glory. Express yourself in your full divine essence. in your creative powers. Now, this doesn't have to be the arts specifically. This could be science. This could be engineering. This could be mathematics. Everything is creative. Everything is creative because you are a creative being by nature. So express yourself in your creativity, whatever field it is, however it is, whether it's just what you wear, whether it is how you are, your career, your hobbies, just how you express yourself in your communication to others. Express yourself in your true authenticity, in your true divine essence, in your embodiment. Express yourself. I feel like there's one more card here. Anything else for the Divine Feminine, please, Spirit? Anything else? Sacred Space and Mother Earth. This Mother Earth energy is that Mother Gaia energy. This sacred space energy is find your sacred space. Find your sacred space within and find your sacred space on this earth, because there you're going to be planting the seeds. Now, that could be your home. That could be, for me, my sanctuary is the lake, the river, by the water. I feel so at home there. I feel so grounded there. That has become my sacred space. My home is another sacred space. Within me is a sacred space. Find your sacred space and allow yourself to ground, allow yourself to anchor in, because with that, that's how you connect. That's how you connect to yourself. That's how you connect to your spirit team, to the divine, to source energy. But more importantly, that is how you anchor in and create that change, because you're anchoring into the love. You're anchoring into the connection. You're anchoring into the divine. All right, you guys, this was a beautiful, powerful reading. Thank you so much for the honor of bringing forth these channeled messages. I just love what I do, and it's truly an honor for me to be able to bring forth these messages for the collective. So thank you for this opportunity. I'm sending you guys so much love, so much light, and we'll be back with more collective readings coming up soon. Bye.